This is Explaining Reality.
Hi, I'm Nora, and today we're going to talk about Spencer Pratt and his run for mayor of LA, as well as the various reality TV shows he's been on.
Oh, great. We've got a reality TV star running for office. Wonder
Nothing new, right?
wonder when that's happened before. Yeah, so Spencer Pratt,
Yes.
so
So,
he was on reality shows, or is he still on reality shows, or what's his history?
yeah, he has a history of reality shows, but what he got his start on was a show called The Hills. And The Hills was on back in 2006 on MTV, and it followed a group of teenagers right after high school. And it was basically the audience and everybody thought that this was a reality TV show. The people that were in it, it was their actual names. It wasn't like actors' names. Um, and it was based upon things that actually happened to them. But we found out at the very end of the show that the whole thing was scripted after I think it was like 5 or 6 seasons.
Huh.
Um, and they kept it under wraps the whole time, and they had them all sign these like strict NDAs where you really thought you were watching a reality show that was like also a soap opera complete with like drama and love triangles and all this. um there were some differences from today's reality shows. On today's shows like Real Housewives and others, you see their individual interviews like during the show where they're talking to producers, and it'll cut to like just them. I think they call them like professional cams or something, where they're talking about because they're actual reality, and they didn't have that on this show. Um, but everybody thought that this was a real show, and Spencer was a mega villain on the show.
So, well, first of all, I mean, and we talked about this before with like Real World. That was on MTV, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
But that was like the 90s, which was kind of the first reality show, sort of, I
And that
guess.
was reality. Yeah.
Right. And then the, because I'm trying to think of when like reality really took over, because another thing we always talk about, or at least I criticize, is that it's like cheap and like just filming these idiots going around, right? It doesn't cost any money to just have them act like asses and film it. But in this case, they were scripting a reality show essentially.
Yeah. But
So
it's such a gray area because it like I said, it's the real people, it's the real names. Like
right.
Spencer was on the show. He was dating Heidi. They were dating in real life. They were dating on the show. Their name was Spencer and Heidi on the show. But at the same time, there were things that they um wrote into the show. Like Spencer went into it with the plans to play the villain.
Mm-hmm.
This was his character that he was playing, but he was also Spencer. So he would stir up drama. He'd be, poking at different people. He would be instigating. He kind of reminded me of like everybody had like that, that one guy in high school that just like thought he was cool and was kind of like douchey and would be like, I don't know, like Stifler from like American Pie.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, just kind of like the douchey like guy who just thought he was funny, but he was really just like an asshole. Um, that was Spencer. So anyway, they're on this reality show. They're calling it reality. Everybody watching is thinking it's reality. And then the season finale, there's this whole scene. So there's Kristen Cavallari. Have you ever heard of her? Or Brody Jenner?
No, is Brody Jenner related to those other lizards?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Brody is um well, Bruce Jenner was his father. Now Caitlyn Jenner is his
Yep.
father or his mother.
Right.
No, I guess it's I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
Caitlyn and Bruce were both a parent to Brody.
Brody Jenner.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah, so he was on it, and he there was this whole story about, like, he was having this relationship with Kristen, and, it was, like, on again, on drama, all of that. And then the finale ends with she's leaving, and they're standing in front of the Hollywood Hills, and he's standing, in front of, like, the town cars. It pulls up to take her away. He's got tears in his eyes. She's crying. They give this big dramatic hug. She gets into the car. It drives off, and he's standing there. And then the camera slowly pans out, and you see a director go, "Cut." And then they push the Hollywood scene, the the picture away in the background, and it reveals that they're on a set in, like, a warehouse.
Oh,
They're not actually, so they push it all away and they just zoom out, and that was their way of revealing, um, that this was kinda and then you see the limo also circle back around. She gets out, and it's like, "Hey, thank you," and they're all the director's hugging them. They're high-fiving the different he wasn't even like, it wasn't this
yeah.
moment
Well,
that you're
that's.
thinking,
I mean, I hate to say this, but with all this god awful TV and these terrible shows, that sounds like a pretty good idea. Like that's
yeah.
not a scripted reality show being a good idea, but having that kind of reveal at the end,
Yes, it
that's
was.
kind of
I
neat.
mean, people never forget it. Like, people that were fans of the show, it's like something they're gonna, it's 20 years later and still talked about. Like, that was a moment because everyone was in shock and people were very confused. A lot of people were like, "Wait, what does this mean?" Because
Right.
they
Yeah.
just did it visually. And
I mean,
yeah,
it's probably
so
like probably how they all are, really. And that's just they're probably ostracized like magicians showing how you do a trick.
well, yeah, and I think it was kind of like a smile because there was already rumors going around, that this was scripted. One of the things is that during the whole time, Kristen, who was in this relationship with Brody on the show, they were in a relationship, was actually dating one of the cameramen,
Mhm.
and they were in a serious relationship. But they were all in on it. So he was like cool with it. She's acting, he's acting. And Brody also had a girlfriend, a model, someone. And so they were not allowed, they signed all these things where they had to make sure that it was never revealed. Like, to the public, had everybody had to think that they were actually together. And then a week before the finale, Kristen was spotted in the airport holding hands with the cameraman
Mhm.
by paparazzi. And so the cameraman was instantly fired, and they were like, "No, you broke the deal."
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if then they wrote it in to the ending of doing that, or if that was the plan all along. Because then everybody was like, "Wait a minute, she's
Yeah.
with Brody. Like, what's happening here?" And I'm sure they wanted to be able to speak out as well to say like, "No, I'm not this terrible person. I was acting. Like, I
Yeah.
wasn't cheating on Brody."
Uh well, all of it sounds ridiculous, but this was what Spencer was
Yeah.
so
So Spencer was on this, and he was a villain. Now the other problem with doing it this way is that people still think, I mean, everybody is still attached to that character that they played. Even though it was kind of revealed that this was all fake, it was also loosely based on the real them.
mm,
Like, they picked Spencer to be the villain because he already kind of had those qualities that they were able to, like, amplify, and you know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't have fit the role of, like, a nerd or something else. Like, he fit this role basically in his real life. And so he's never been able to really escape that, because even today people think, even my husband was like, "Oh," when he heard he was running for mayor, he said, "Oh, he was such a douchebag on, the Hills." And I just told him this morning, I said, "The whole show was, like, fake." And I was, like, telling him about Kristen being in the relationship with the cameraman, and he was even surprised. He's like, "I knew part of it was, I thought that was just kind of a joke at the end." Like, he didn't even realize. I was like, "No, they were saying, like, this was not real." Um,
hmm,
but Spencer took that villain role and kind of ran with it. Because like, I know Kristen went on to try to be a serious actress but she wasn't taken seriously. She had that stigma of you're a reality. They couldn't escape that they were still considered reality TV stars, even though they were good actors. They
Right.
fooled us all. Um, yeah, they couldn't escape that.
So
So
when did that show end?
it ended like I think 2009. It was a long time
Yeah.
ago.
Okay.
But since then, Spencer's gone on to do um, various reality TV shows, and he just kind of embraces the villain role now. He comes in and he's like, especially if it's a reality competition show, he's coming in like ready to win, ready to backstab, whatever he needs to do. Um, and then you heard about everything that happened with like the Palisades fires and stuff in California, right? All those wildfires.
Yeah.
Um, so there was a whole bunch of wildfires that came through and they kind of knew they were coming. The
Mm-hmm.
mayor went to, where was she? She was in another country at a cocktail party. I'm not even kidding. I
Yeah.
can't make this up. She was at a cocktail party. And meanwhile, the fires were hitting LA and whole neighborhoods were wiped out.
Yeah.
And Spencer's house was one of them. It was completely demolished. Um, and so he decided something has to be done. I'm going to run for mayor. And he is kind of embracing this whole like he's taking the internet by storm. He's creating videos, like he did a video that he created where, and these are his ads. Like, gone are the days of these ads where it's just like, hi, I'm so and so. Do you like the way that your drinking water looks?
Right.
You know, these corny things. Now he's playing Batman and he's got Karen Bass, who's the mayor, playing the Joker. He's like creating these ads of like he's gonna save the city. And there's one man for the job. He did a Star Wars one. He's done
Is he a
he's
firefighter?
done so many. No. He has a degree in political science, I think,
Oh, well.
but that was part of the problem too, is that they did cut right before the fires happened. A whole bunch of funding was cut from the fire department.
Yeah.
So they just didn't have any of like the needs and things to control this. And I guess there was a lot of warning that this was going to happen. Um, and then the other hot topic is like the homeless and drug use that's going on in LA right now. They have different ideas of how to clean that up. But it's just so funny because he is a reality TV star now. I mean, The Hills we found out was fake, but since then he's gone on and that's what he does is
Right.
reality TV shows. And there's even a rumor that if he wins, and it's kind of looking like he's going to win, that they're going to do a reality show centered around the mayor, like being the mayor of LA. And I'll tune in.
Lovely country. So
I'm here
is he
for it.
really like he really when are the elections for
June 2nd is when the election is. And I got to tell you, there's people all over TikTok that are like, I'm about to go vote illegally in LA. Like, I'm about to move to LA so I can vote for Spencer. Like, people are loving him on the internet.
You know that like that stuff isn't real. People on TikTok saying they're going to vote for like but that
they're
aside,
influencing the voters.
Yes.
This is what I'm saying is that they're influencing the voters because
the
people are
ones,
watching and they're going, wait.
Yeah. But TikTok says, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Thank you, TikTok.
It's a lot of celebrities too. Like, I mean, even Andy Cohen on Watch What Happens Live. He's like, I think Spencer may win this. I think he's gonna do this. And I expected Andy to be like, oh, screw that guy. Because Andy's I mean, Spencer is not, I would not say he's MAGA. In fact, he gets very insulted when people say that to him. He was an independent and then he had to pick a party to run. And I think that's when he chose to be Republican. And so there's people, I expected Andy just because he was Republican to be against him, but
Well, he's a
he
reality star that that
that
that
doesn't mean that Andy's
supposedly wants to do a reality show on being mayor. So I'm
not necessarily a Bravo show. It doesn't mean Andy has any
oh
stake in
yeah.
the game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bravo Daddy will be happy to run whatever show that is no matter what. But
I think so. I think the main problem with Spencer, I would say, is that he's everything he's pointing out, he's right. He's like,
mm,
the way these fires were treated. I mean, that's a problem. Karen Bass came out and said she was very like, in hindsight, I shouldn't have been at that cocktail party, especially when the photos came. And she's not denying it. She's owning it and
yeah,
saying I should have been with my city. Um, but nobody's really talking about a solution. Like they're pointing out like this is a problem, this is a problem. And I watched the debate between them because I knew we were going to be talking about it. And neither one, they were both saying all the problems,
yeah.
but neither one
Nobody
was
has a solution.
laying out
Like
like,
that's
and this is how we're going to fix it.
so. Is that
And
I don't know how the elections work for LA mayor, but is that what it seems? Is that what it's come? I guess it's we know who's going to be running. I guess if it's in a month or less than a
yeah,
month. But so
yeah,
is it essentially is it still Karen Bass
it's
and
Karen Bass, Spencer, and then there's a councilwoman who's running too. I
okay.
think a couple others, but they're not. They're kind of just out of the
Yeah,
race.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's down to the two
It's
of
those
them
two.
are the big
Okay.
hot topics. Yeah, and they're both posting ads and Karen's sticking to the political stuff that you typically see, which I kind of feel like you need to up it because Spencer's ads are more memorable. Like you remember the Batman and the Joker no matter what side you're on. Those other ads just become kind of like white noise. Like you hear them all the time and you don't even really know who's talking because it's the same thing. These politicians need to step up their game now. As much as you don't like TikTok and all of that, this is the new young voters coming in. This is
Right.
how you're going to reach them.
No, yeah, I get it. Um, but that so yeah, I mean, I guess he does have a chance. Like it's actually happening soon, and it's
Yeah.
well that'll be something. So what show is he on
Um,
currently?
so there's a show. This show was so good. It was just on. It was actually on in 2025, and I don't know if they're gonna do another season, but it's called Got to Get Out, and it's on Hulu, and it's so good. It's only 8 episodes long, and it's 20 people. 10 of them are celebrities, and 10 of them are everyday people, and they're trapped inside of this house and there's a clock ticking of that will eventually get up to $1 million. And they
Mm,
have different times that they can exit. And if they can get out the doors, and it's this super long driveway to these like double gates and get through the gates, they get to keep them wherever the clock stops when they get out. And then they have this button inside the house that if they catch someone taking off, they can hit this button and it shuts the gates. So it'll like stop them from getting out. Um, does that make sense?
so the money is always going up. People
Yeah.
can leave whenever they want, or if they can escape.
No, everything's windows, doors, everything is locked. But every single day, no, but every day someone, so they each one by one, they go in this room and it's this random machine that prints out like a message to them. And it'll
Okay.
either say no escape plan or it'll randomly pick like 3 people and it will give them an escape plan. And it'll say something like, when the money hits 222,000 between that and 235,000, which is essentially like it goes up like every minute. Um, the bathroom window will turn green. When the window turns green, it means it's open.
Okay.
Otherwise, they're red lit. Um, and then they have to come up with a plan of how do we escape. Now, there's also a watchtower on top of the thing that they all take turns watching. And if they see someone escaping, they pull this lever
Yeah.
and it alerts the whole house. Somebody hit the button. The button's in the center of the house, and then people run and they hit the button to stop them from getting out. So
So
it's a really,
okay.
really exciting show. It's like you're edge of your seat, especially when someone gets out. You're like, go, 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 go.
And then if somebody actually escapes, they get whatever money was on the clock?
Yeah. So, okay. So, for example, um, there was Cynthia Bailey. She's from Real Housewives of Atlanta. She was in the house along with there was this guy named Stein, and I forget his last name, but he was one of the regular people. And so she went to get her little message and she got an escape plan. And it said at this time, it's going to go up. So she decides to bring Stein in on the plan. Now, if you bring someone in on the plan, you have the option once you win the money to either split it with the person you bring in or keep the whole thing for yourself.
Yeah.
Whoever gets out the gate, that's who gets to make the decision. And so she decides he's super fast runner. And so it was at $312,000. And they come up with this whole plan. Now, first of all, from the very beginning, Cynthia made herself the button watcher. She's like, I'm going to sit in front of this button. You guys let me know when I need to hit it. And she's hitting it every single time as they were alerting her. And they were all trusting her, like which helped her out because this time she knew I'm not hitting that button.
Yeah.
So she brought Stein into the plan, and oh my gosh, and he took off running for the gate. And they're all going, hit that button, hit it. And then they're running from the tower. The tower's really far for them to get to the button and screaming it. She's just sitting there, not hitting the button. And boom, he gets through the gate. And they're like, you just won $312,000. And he's an everyday person. Cynthia Bailey, she's on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's been on Beverly Hills. She's a supermodel. She is all over the place. Her net worth is millions. So there was this fear of he may be like, look, my family needs this money. Like, you're going to be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But they bring him back in front of everybody. They say, was there anyone who helped you and what have you decided to do? And he said, I couldn't have done this without Cynthia. We're splitting it. And then the two of them drive off together with the money. And then the clock goes back to zero and everybody else is trapped back in the house. And now it's at zero.
So it just keeps
the
going
total
over
prize
and over again?
is $1 million. Yeah, the total prize is $1 million. So now 312 is gone. It's back at zero.
So they're giving away $1 million one way or the other. It's just when that $1 million is gone, then the show's over or the season's over. Okay.
Yeah. So if nobody gets out, they essentially, whoever's in the house, there's no elimination. There's no so it's the same number of people splitting it.
Yeah.
But when it got down to zero, there were two girls in the house. One was Claire from The Bachelorette, and I forget the other girl's name. But they couldn't take it anymore. They just quit. They're like, never mind, we're out. And everyone else in the house was like, oh, good for us. It's more that we could split it. But this show was also very comical. It was very funny. There was this lady, Susan, who's from The Golden Bachelor. Have you ever heard of The Golden Bachelor?
Yes. I mean, that's just an old person is The Bachelor. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an old person Bachelor show.
Yeah.
And Susan is she's got this New York accent. She's super tall. She's this very loud personality. So when you get an escape plan, you're supposed to kind of get it and then you just keep it to yourself and start thinking, who can I bring in? Who can I trust? Who do I want to share this with? She goes in, gets an escape plan, and comes out of the room. You guys, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And everyone's like, what? And she's like, you're not going to believe this. And hers was she and one other person had to stand in front of a window and at the same time say open sesame and it would unlock. And so she had to bring someone else in. She's literally running all over the house telling she runs into the kitchen, announces it to all of them,
Right.
and then she pulls one of the other girls who is on The Bachelor, and she's like, "I want to have you do this plan with me." And she's telling the whole house, and everyone in the house is like, "What? What is wrong with you? This isn't going to work." And Spencer goes, "There's one problem with your plan, Susan. As soon as you say open sesame, I'm hitting the button." And she's like, and her whole face just like deflates, and she goes,
She's got that
"What?
reality brain.
Why?" It's like, "What are you thinking?" And she's like, "No, why? Why would you do that to me? Why you think? Because he wants the money too." Here she's thinking, "Oh, everyone's in on this, guys. If I can get the two of us say open sesame, we're gonna take off running and take your money."
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. What?
So she didn't even get out, obviously, because she did this whole plan, told the entire house, and they hit the button immediately. So that was comical. And then another guy gets an escape plan, and he decides to bring Susan in on it. I don't know why. I would not not tell that woman anything. And so they had this whole plan, and all she had to do was be at this certain spot at this certain time and say something. And he's ready to go, and the window's not unlocking. The clock's ticking. He's like, "What's happening?" And he can't leave. He has to stay right there so that as soon as it opens, he can get out.
Mhm.
It never happens. The clock disappears. He goes looking for her. She's sound asleep.
Eh.
Like in the room
God.
where she had one job.
Uh,
She's sound asleep. And he's like, "Wake up. Like, what are you thinking? That was our chance to get out and get this money." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I was making meatballs all day. I was tired." She was
mhm.
cooking for the house like every day.
I wonder maybe that was her plan to just foil everyone and herself for some reason.
Well, there was rumors all over. Like people immediately started calling her producer plant.
Yeah.
So anyway, so people were thinking this was the producer plant because there was one other where all she had to do was say it was like a Christmas theme, and she brought somebody else into the plan, and they get to the window, and she had to say like I forget what it was, but I didn't have $300,000 on the line. It was just something like and to all a good night. It was like a simple phrase like that that she had to say, and then the door would open.
Uh-huh.
She gets in front of the door, they're all ready, the guy's ready to go run, and she goes, "I can't remember the phrase. I don't know the phrase. I can't remember." And he's like, "What the hell?" And it's the same guy that did the plan where she fell asleep, by the way.
Yeah, why are they so when you have an escape plan, you get to pick whoever. Does it tell you have to pick certain people, or you
No,
don't
you
have to
can
pick,
do it.
you do it yourself if you can, or whatever, or is
Yeah, you can do it
yeah,
yourself.
okay.
There are sometimes that they just give you a little like a helper thing. Like there was one like towards the end that they would give them something that would dismantle the alarm from the so if they tried to pull the alarm wouldn't go off.
Mm.
And it would only be for this certain time, but they didn't have an escape plan. So then they would need to find someone else in the house that had the escape plan so they could team up and they would say, "I'm going to do this at this time, you go escape." Um, but every time they got so close, it was like nail biting. You're like, oh, you're watching them run, 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 run as fast as they can and trying to get out. And yeah, it was super entertaining. But yeah, Susan swears she did interviews since then. I was looking up and she swears she was not a producer plant. That's just her. That's just her personality.
Dumb.
So she's 67
She's
years
just
old and
dumb.
she's like, yeah. Well, she claims the first one she said she really did do that on purpose to tell everybody because she was having so much fun and she didn't want to leave the house yet. Once you get the money, you leave. You're not on the show anymore. So she's claiming but no, that made absolutely no sense.
Yeah, well, I
So,
mean, right, it's great that these people that a few $100,000 is not worth
right?
another day or two trapped with other lizards.
That's the most wild part is like this money to me. I mean, if it was $20,000, I'm taking off to
Right.
take that money. Like,
Right.
and you're talking about six figures here that she's like, "Oh, I wasn't ready to go. I was having fun." But yeah, must be nice. She claims the other two was legit. She said the other one was that she was cooking all day long. She's 67 years old. She was exhausted and she fell asleep. And the
Like,
last one, yeah.
so yeah, I mean, this is otherwise a normal house where like people have to cook and clean and stuff,
Yeah,
or like they
they're
don't
all
have people doing that for them.
apparently not. Susan was the one cooking like every
Ugh.
single day. They had a full kitchen and they would be in there cooking. Yeah, it always showed her. She was like your typical like Italian mom. She'd be in
And
there making meatballs or
what
chicken piccata.
what was she from? She from a show?
The Golden Bachelor.
Oh, right,
She was one of the
okay.
contestants.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess she wasn't chosen with a wilted rose.
Yeah, I'd never watched that, but yeah,
Weird.
I don't think that she won. Um, she makes for great TV though. I have to say, when she was screaming to the whole house that she got an escape plan. I was like, and the way she was just so giddy, and as soon as Spencer said, "I'm gonna hit the button," and her whole demeanor just dropped, was like, this woman's Looney Tunes. What do you think? Um, yeah. And then there was also Kim Zolciak. She was also one of the reality shows. She's from Real Housewives of Atlanta. And she's just kind of, is it racist to say she's white trash? Because she's,
I mean, I don't think so, but I also think we're allowed to say that. So
yeah, right? Because I'm white. So I should be allowed to say it. She's white trash. She, first of all, when she was on Real Housewives of Atlanta, she was just um so proud that she was in this full blown relationship with a married man. And she couldn't reveal his name because he was married, living at home with his wife and his child, and they didn't know anything about her. So she called him Big Papa. And she would show all these gifts that he would get. And she'd be like, "Thank you, Big Papa." And oh, so disgusting. She always drank her wine out of a red solo cup, and she would have a cigarette in one hand and the red solo cup in the other.
nice.
And she had no medical condition that caused like hair loss or anything like that. Like her hair was fine, but she wore these elaborate wigs. No, but I'm just saying before I like make fun of
Okay.
random fact.
Yeah.
No, but before I make fun of her for wearing a wig,
Yes.
I want to
Right.
make it clear that she didn't
Yes.
need to. If there was something wrong with her where she needed to wear the wig, I would never
Right.
make
Perhaps
fun of.
something caused by the cigarettes and the wine.
I mean, yeah, maybe. No, she openly said, like, I just like the way they look. And they were these like big blonde, dramatic wigs.
Hmm.
And she put so much filler in her lips that her lips were like huge. And so if you can picture this, she has 6 kids. Four of them were with Croy Bierman, who was a football player and also featured on the show.
Croy Bierman?
Yeah. What's wrong with that? Do you know who he is?
No, but that's just a very silly name. Like,
You know what made me second guess? Like, that is his name, right? Oh, because he's like a beer man and she's a wine girl.
well, just Bierman, but Croy, Croy?
Yeah,
Okay.
Croy.
That's
Yeah, he
great,
played for
whatever.
the Falcons.
Like, really? Croy Bierman. Huh. Okay.
Yeah. And they had 4 kids. She has since lost custody of those kids. They're with him. They're going through a very bad divorce right now. There's like body cam footage and all kinds of things. They went through a really bad financial state because she couldn't get away from the casinos. She was like gambling on the slots. She like gambled away like all of their money. And then she's been trying to sell her shoes and bags on eBay and stuff. And then when she did get money for it, even her kids have said we've had to go and like drag mom out of the casino. She's there with her red solo cup and her cigarette, and yeah. So she's one of the contestants on the show because she needs money. And every 5 minutes, no lie, she's like, I got to get out of here. I really miss my wine. This is a dry house. I miss my wine. Oh, and I miss my kids. The wine came first
I
every
assume she's not
time.
allowed to smoke in the house, probably.
No, and she's like my age, I think, maybe a little bit older, maybe like 46, 47. But she had a stroke a few years ago, and she actually quit smoking when she had the stroke.
Oh,
Um so I don't think she's smoking anymore, but I don't think that red Solo cup has gone anywhere.
right,
And
right.
turns out they're only in the house for 8 days. So if you can't go 8 days without a glass of wine, that's not that long. It's not like it's 8 months.
Right.
You're missing the wine already before you even say, "I miss my kids."
Yeah, well, uh I mean, I guess she's not at the point where she's gonna die without alcohol. So
Yeah, I mean, she must have been okay because she was in the house, but she yeah, she's just such a character. And, um, she's just a classic reality TV star too. Because I don't know why, she ended up getting her own show on Bravo called Don't Be Tardy for the Party, because she had a song that she did, it was a one-hit wonder, and it was like, "Don't be tardy for the party." That was the only line in the song, and it was very heavily, she can't sing. She cannot sing at all. What's it called? That auto-tuned. It was
uh,
very auto-tuned. Yeah,
yeah, I don't
that's
like
Kim.
I don't like this person.
I mean, I did not like her from the very beginning because of how proud she was to be having an affair and talking, and I'm thinking this wife is, like, watching this, and yeah, that already I was like, "Okay, you're trash." And then I don't know. She's just trash. But they also had, let's see, who else was on there? Oh, Omarosa was on. Do you know who that is?
Was that one of the things that won or was on some asshole's reality show? Uh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I think I know who that is.
Yeah, Omarosa was, so she was originally on the first Apprentice before it became Celebrity Apprentice. There was an Apprentice before that, and I forget where it was. I think people actually trying to have an apprenticeship or something. I don't know. I don't remember watching it. But based off that came the spin-off of Celebrity Apprentice, which was hosted by Donald Trump. And
Mhm. Well,
Omarosa
the
was on
regular
that.
Apprentice wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
I think so.
Maybe. Him, yeah, actually, I think you're right. And Martha Stewart had one too. They both had these, like, because Bethany Frankel was competed on Martha Stewart's, like, before Real Housewives. But so that's, yeah. So she was on there, and same.
She
She was the
didn't
villain.
win though, right?
I
The
don't think she
Apprentice?
won, but she went on to work in the White House,
Right.
with Donald Trump,
Yeah.
and that was in his first run. Um, and then he fired her. He fired her on the show, and then he fired her from the White House.
Well, he realized she was a DEI, so
Wait, is that true? That's what happened?
I don't, probably, but I don't know that for sure. So my apologies, Omarosa.
I don't know. I I don't know because she doesn't really talk about it. Um, she
Yeah,
was on
because like
Celebrity Big Brother, and I watched her on that, and she kind of talked a little bit about it, but she seemed very wary. Like
right,
she
yeah.
didn't, yeah, she didn't want to say too much. But Omarosa is one of those where there's shows when I watch her, sometimes I can't stand her. I think there's times she plays the villain role too well, or she's just mean. And then there's other shows like this, Gotta Get Out. that I really liked her. She had a softer side. She wasn't being this like evil person. So I don't know who the real her, kind of like Spencer. I don't know who the real Spencer is. Like, is he this like douchey guy, or is he like a nice guy who genuinely wants to like help people? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that is a weird thing to do, to like want to be mayor of LA if you're not like I wonder what his goals actually are.
I do too. I do think his home being burned down. He has small children and losing his house and everything. And he's not alone. There's a lot of people upset with the way
Sure,
things
right.
are being handled in LA. Um,
Yeah.
you know, there's times too, like where I live, my taxes keep going up. I don't even know what it goes to. I just have to pay it. I have no clue. I haven't had a tax return in over 10 years.
Hmm.
And my husband and I both have W-2s. We're not like independent contractors.
Right.
We even adjusted our taxes last year to have even more taken out, thinking we'd get a return.
Yeah,
No,
don't do
we
that.
did not. Yeah, we didn't get a return. The past few years, we've ended up owing.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were so confused. I'm like, how? We don't even claim our son. We don't claim anything. I'm like,
Why not? Like, you should. That will help.
I don't no, nothing helps. They're like, oh, in the end, I mean, maybe we claim him.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
you
When we
definitely do.
file the taxes though, in the end, they're like, you're not getting anything.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
like, screw you. And I keep telling him, I'm like, one of us needs to run for some and figure out where is all this money going? Because so I can kind of see like that might have been Spencer, his house burning down. That might have been the final like straw where he was just like, that's it. Like we need to stop talking about something needs to be done. Where is this?
Yeah,
And
but I
do
mean, like,
something about
somebody
it.
that has like that's what worries me is that uh he has the dumbest, easiest, stupidest job in the world to just get
Yeah.
paid a lot of money just to have a camera filming him.
Yeah.
And now he's going to presumably, kind of give up on that, even though the idea is to have a reality show in as the mayor, right? Which is
And I
a
don't know
bit
if that's
concerning.
true.
Or
I would need to fact check that
right, right,
because
but
there's
is he
too much
gonna
fake news.
like he is going to again, who knows what his plan actually is if he actually wins, but like is he actually going to try to be mayor, or is he going to like give up this the easy job for the what should be a very hard job that you should be taking
He's saying,
seriously,
I mean,
right? But I
of
mean, it's
course,
like
he's saying
who
that
knows, but that's
yeah,
that's oh, poor LA.
he hasn't his shows too have been very spread out. Like he's done like The Hills a couple years later, he did like Marriage Boot Camp. A couple
Right.
years later, he keeps coming back into the spotlight.
Yeah.
Like and then he did this Gotta Get Out. So it's not like a Housewives gig where it's like one of the other people is also running from a Bravo show, Married to Medicine. Dr. Heaven, not LA mayor. She's running for something else in Atlanta. But she's running for something um to where they made her she's not a full-time cast member anymore because now that she's running it's like I don't know. What is it like I guess cuz they don't want it to seem like they're like endorsing it. I don't know. I don't
uh,
know. She's her name's no, this is the best. Her name is Dr. Heavenly.
Dr. Heavenly.
Yeah, Heavenly.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And she's running for something in Atlanta, but she's doing your classic ads that you see. Hi, I endorse this message. Vote for me, and you can live in a white picket fence and have a beautiful life.
I mean, I mean, for all how shitty everything is, I get that. I get Twitter and TikTok telling people, how to vote. Like it shouldn't be as powerful as it is, but I mean, it makes sense that like people are locked into those things, and now it's like reality TV is the same. Like, well, I've seen this person be an asshole in a house, so let's elect them
Yeah.
to like actually be in charge of important things, because that makes sense. Ugh. Well, who
Yeah, I
knows?
mean, and honestly, this is the first time I've ever like I would never even know who the mayor of LA is or care because I live nowhere
Right,
near
right, right,
that. I can't vote for that person. I don't live anywhere near that coast. I
right.
don't have anything to do with that town.
Yeah,
So it also shows that kind of impact that I mean the only elections really that I pay attention to are like ones that directly impact me and my
sure. Yeah,
local community or like the president. Um, but other than that, but this one's like catching the attention of the whole world. There's a billboard in Georgia that says even Georgia knows that Spencer should win.
yeah, man.
Like everybody everywhere is talking about this. Um, so if nothing else, it's definitely like shining a spotlight on their like local politics.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, and again, that's probably not a bad strategy, I guess, with billboards in Georgia and with places where people
Yeah, I
can't.
mean, people can't vote,
Yeah, but
but
they can
everyone's talking
fucking
about you.
TikTok about it, and then everyone thinks,
I
oh, like
mean,
everyone on TikTok says that this is the guy, so I'm going to vote for this guy. All right, so
I wonder what it's like for Karen Bass too, because I mean, she's I'm sure a very big local celebrity for LA. I'd never heard of her until
right,
this.
I don't
But
know anything about her too. I assume she's not like a reality TV star or somebody. I assume she's like
no,
a politician.
no,
This probably isn't her
a
first
politician.
political job, I'm guessing. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
that's the second biggest city, or it's always the first or second on any given day biggest city
Yeah.
in the US. So like
But it's got to be
that's an
weird, like a
important
weird
job.
feeling to be shoved into like now you're known even over here on the East Coast, we know who Karen Bass is now. Like I wouldn't this election, if anyone else had run against her, a normal politician had just run against her, I would know nothing about it. It
Right,
wouldn't
right.
affect me.
Right, right. So
But now she's like a big time celebrity. I mean, Spencer's used to it. He's used to walking out the door and someone like photographing him if they see him somewhere.
yeah.
She's not used to that. Like, and I'm sure like the photos surfacing of her being at a cocktail party and stuff like that, like she's not used to it. It's probably just, oh, I got to watch myself in my local area where people know I'm the mayor. But now she can fly over to Delaware and somebody could see her and be like, that's Karen Bass.
Right.
Look what she's doing. Like, literally, like anywhere in the world, like in the US, that she could go and she will likely be recognized because of this. Now she's on a big platform and it's not even a presidential election, it's a
Yeah,
mayor.
but I mean, she's still. I mean that can't be too much of a shock to her. Again,
That would give me anxiety.
the a gigantic, important city uh, that she's the mayor of. I mean, she's used to some level of being under the microscope.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it is different. Running against a reality star. Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, he does have a degree in political science, though.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know if that matters.
that sounds like it's that's a good degree to have for somebody trying to get that job. That's
But what if
true.
I decided I wanted to run for something just to make a difference because I'm fed up with
Yeah.
like everything?
Mm-hmm.
What would they say about me? Oh, I'm running against this like wannabe podcaster who works in marketing. Like, who is she?
Right. Right. Well,
It would be the
that's what they'll
same
always say,
thing.
as if it's like, well, you want like that's what they say about. But I mean, people who come from non-political backgrounds have been successful.
Yeah.
Some tremendously so. But Um,
But it's a little different. Like
but that's going
Trump
to be the
was
attack is that,
rich his whole
well,
life,
people think,
right?
yeah, people think that he's smart and he did that. So that, I mean, I don't necessarily think that's true, but I think that that's what people see, and that's why they think that he's going to be good at running the country. So whatever you think about that aside, I get that part of it. And
Yeah.
but then uh like someone like AOC, who's uh, New York, um like she was, the whole thing about her is, oh, she was just a bartender, but
Yeah.
she is trying to do what people want to do. So but anytime she does something, it's like, oh, what do you know, you're just a bartender. Well, she's
Yeah.
trying to make things happen, and some people like what she says, so she's getting
That's
more
what
and
I'm
more
saying. There's
successful, right?
something
So like
to
no
say
matter,
about lived experience and that
right,
people can
right. So
relate to.
that's
And
like
yeah.
has to be the message for someone who coming from, not a background where people know who you are or whatever. It's like, well, this is my experience and this is what I want to change and this is why. And if that's like
Yeah.
that's how you would presumably win, is sticking to that, explaining. And like you said before, where they were just talking about the problems, and it's like, well, if you can identify the problem, then what's the solution? And that's the thing
Right.
about, like, in LA, that's uh, easy to say the problems, but the solution is not easy. Even though, like, people will say it's an easy fix, or I'm just going to do this or that. That's not how it works. That won't
It's
do
easier
anything.
said than done.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, obviously.
There's
So that's
things
why
that you
they
can
just
see.
notice the problem. Yeah, it's, oh, there's homeless people everywhere. That's a problem. Yeah, no shit.
And it kind of is. It's kind of both sides, because it's like also once you're in there, yeah, she cut a bunch of money from the fire department.
Hmm.
Why did that happen? Or I don't think anyone's just like, oh, for the fun of it,
Right, right,
let's cut down the fire department.
right.
Um, but there was this scene, one of the clips that Spencer put up. There's a park for little kids by the house, right in the area where the fires just wiped out. The whole neighborhood's gone.
Hmm.
And they rebuilt this park and they decided to make it a fire theme park. And the whole place. So he's in the
Uh,
park and he's like, look at this. He goes, I can't make this shit up. Like, look at this. This is
right.
all the equipment was fire trucks and it was like fire people spraying fires. And then you hit this one button and all these sirens go off. Like, and it's supposed to be fun. And he's like, these little kids like have PTSD from these. They don't want to come here to play and be reminded of like the horror of like fleeing their neighborhood and
Right.
these fires wipe out. So it is kind of comical. Like, what are they thinking? Are they trying to, you know? Um, and I think that that's part. Like, if his house hadn't burned down, I don't think he'd be running. I think he's running because he's like, I'm fed up, and I need to make a change. And all of us have a little bit of that in us. We have a condo association where I live. We have to pay the stupid fucking condo fee every month. No clue what it goes to. I can't tell you because we go out back and the grass is so high. I'm like, they maybe come once a month to cut the grass, and I'm like, that could be like the least that they can do.
Yeah.
But you're just stuck. You have to pay it every single month, and it's like close to $400 every month on top of your
God
mortgage
damn.
for the condo fee. And so twice now, my husband has put in to have his name. He wants to be on the board. He's run trying to get elected onto the board because we're like, the least we can do is try and figure out what
Yeah.
what is this money going to?
Right.
And I've gone to the board meetings and literally they're talking about let's repaint street signs and stuff. And I'm like, let the street signs wilt and let me keep my $400. Like I don't need
Yeah.
I don't care. But so anyway, so he hasn't been selected yet, but I can see that's the drive. It's kind of like he doesn't really want one more meeting or stuff to do on top of his other job, but at the same time we're living it and we can't just keep complaining
Yeah.
about it. And maybe he'd get in there and go, "No, now I get it. This money's going. There's a reason we have to pay for this." And maybe he'd understand, or maybe he'd be able to make a change. I don't know.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what Spencer's doing on a much bigger scale than the condo association.
Yeah. And I mean, there's obviously lots of differences there too, because with the condo association, that's not public, that's not government, that's
Yeah.
privately contained. They're going to make whatever rules they want, make whatever election rules they want, you know.
It goes up every year
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
When we moved in here, we're paying almost $50 more than we paid when we moved in a few years ago.
Yeah.
Every single year it goes up, but we don't see any. We don't even know what it's going to. We just have to pay it. Or you could lose your home if you don't pay it. Like, and they tie on if you're late, you got all these fees attached to it. So yeah. But speaking of that, you want to hear a really scary story that happened to me the other day?
Yeah.
I contacted the condo. It just reminded me of the condo association. So one of the things I keep saying with the condo association, which I wish that they would do, we have these key fobs to get into our building where you scan the fob to enter the door.
Like
and at a certain time,
the outside door to the whole building.
Yeah. And at a certain time, I'm not going to say what time that is. The door locks and it stays locked, and you have to have the fob to get in or out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the door's open and you can come in and out. So we were coming back from a trip. My husband wasn't here. He was like 30 miles away visiting his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I was coming in. I was unloading the car by myself, and I had my toddler in the car, and I was taking everything in and out, and it was raining. And so I got all the luggage, everything inside the door. I ran back out, grabbed him, came inside, set him down, and realized he dropped his shoe. Ran back out. The shoe was sitting right there on the street. And I ran out, grabbed it, ran to go back in, and the door was locked.
Yeah.
And it's raining. And I had no cell phone. I had no keys to unlock the door. So I can't even call for help because I had no phone.
Right.
It's raining. So there's not even anyone out like walking their dog or kids playing at the park. There's not a soul around. I was pounding on the door, screaming. I ran around behind the building. I'm pounding on all the patio doors, screaming. One of my neighbors came out from another building. Her fob wouldn't work for mine. She gave me her cell phone. We called my husband, and I'm like crying hysterically, shaking because couldn't even remember how I left him. All I knew is I set him down, realized he dropped a shoe and meant to be gone for 2 seconds. And I didn't even know what he had access to or anything. Finally, one of the neighbors came out and let us in. And I contacted the condo association and told them, like, there should be a code or something like for emergencies like that you can get in. Because I couldn't even call 911 if I wanted to. I didn't have my phone. And there are like these signs on the door that say, if you get locked out, here's an 800 number to call.
Why didn't you have your phone?
Because I was just unloading the car, and it was right between it was like within the 10 minutes the doors were going to lock. And I had set everything down, my purse, everything, even him. I set him down and just noticed his one shoe was missing.
Yeah.
I ran back out just to grab it. So I didn't have anything on me at all, and locked my toddler in the house. And when I finally got in and I got to him, he was just sitting on his little chair playing with a toy, peacefully as can be. And I was hugging him and sobbing, and I was like, I've never been so scared in my life. And he was just like, okay. Like, has no clue. Mommy was running, soaking wet, running around, pounding on doors, screaming. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, my baby, somebody help me.
Jesus.
Yeah. So anyway, they came back and basically said, well, no, there's nothing we can do to help you with that. Just make sure you have your keys and phone on you when you walk out the door. Yeah. Lesson learned. I'll never do it again. But again, like, if why can't we make a change with the condo association? Like, we're going to pay this much.
Yeah.
Why can't they put a code on the door or something?
Huh.
I know I got completely off topic. I was reminded as we're talking about like Spencer running and why he was empowered to do so and why we're trying to make a change, because You do reach a point of you're paying for these things and you have no say.
Start local.
Yeah.
Be the change you want to see. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to check out Explaining Reality on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Links are in the episode description.